Welcome to the Awake Space Astrology Podcast. I'm Lori Rivers, your host. And we are now getting ready for the final month of 2021. I don't know about you, but it seems like we've lived about 3 years just in this last 12 months. What a year it has been. Whereas 2020 hit us all and blindsided the majority of people, 2021 has been a year of immense, almost immeasurable growth for a lot of people. A lot of self-awareness, a lot of understanding, it's a lot of undoing, a lot of changes. And a lot of you have come to me on TikTok and in Patreon and Discord and anywhere else and said, when's it going to end? When is this going to end? I would love to tell you that these times of change will stabilize in the near future. But that's really not what this time we're living in is about. It's not about stabilizing. In fact, it's all about destabilizing and changing. And remember, as above, so below, as within, so without. And in order to meet the challenges that are upcoming, the challenges that are in the present, many of which we dissociate from day in and day out by being overly busy or watching a lot of TV, keeping up with the Kardashians, or watching whatever celebrity do whatever it is that they do. The world keeps turning and the challenges and changes are presenting themselves more and more and more. And in this final month we're approaching of 2021, we will have evidence of why it is that we need to be present and engaged in the moment. That's what we're going to talk about here. We're going to talk about December 2021, the energy of the month starting pretty much with an eclipse and ending with Jupiter entering Pisces. And that sets the stage for 2022. Get ready to be inspired. It's not all bad. There's a lot we can do to meet the present moment and the challenges and the changes. But I'm not going to lie. Even astrologers get tired of the heavy energy and the bouncing around and the wondering what's next. Even when we can see how the cosmic clock is ticking. Cosmic cock? I don't think that's going to work out real well. Welcome to the Awake Space Podcast, where she is uncensored. Let's talk about that solar eclipse in the next segment. We're just a little over a week away from the solar eclipse. Now, it sounds like a really big event because we say total solar eclipse. But it's only visible in Antarctica, the very southern tip of Africa, the very southern tip of South America, New Zealand, and a little bit of Australia. And the places where it's very visible need to be very nervous about rising temperatures. And so I think because of where it is visible, we're looking at climate change. We're looking at currents, ocean currents. I think there's some big weather ahead globally. And whereas the lunar eclipse was visible the whole world over, and notice we've had COVID news come out, which I'll talk a little bit later. I'll talk about that a little bit later in the podcast. The solar eclipse is on a first glance, somewhat lackluster in that it's not highly visible throughout the planet. Not necessarily a bad thing, because the more visible it is, the more malefic it is, which means it's not a great thing. The potency of an eclipse is determined on the visibility. So if it's not visible in your area, there's a minimal impact. So all of you Sag risings and other mutable placements, don't be too freaked out, And it's really funny because you're like, we can't catch a break. We can't catch a break. Have you tried being a cardinal sign lately? Come on, guys. Come on. You guys catch a break really soon. The nodes change signs in December, okay? It hasn't been as hard as you think. Just wait till Saturn is in Pisces. Then you can whine. Then I'll give it to you. Just a couple years away. Don't worry about it for right now. You guys have got this. You're just getting massaged, okay? But I can tell you that the cardinal signs and the fixed signs are looking over at you with a side eye right now. Okay, I don't want to hear any whining out of the mutables. You think it's hard? Just wait. Your time is coming. Okay, you're just getting massaged into it right now. I know we shouldn't do comparative trauma, but seriously, the Capricorns are just looking at you just with dead eyes right now. They're just like, what are you talking about? What are you on about? Can't catch a break. I tell you, the cardinal signs will not know what to do with their lives in 2024. They're going to be like, in November of 2024, every cardinal sign is going to be like, oh my God, why do I feel 100 billion times lighter? What is this sense? Am I feeling joy? What is this? Why is my face wet from non-sad tears? And so, anyway, for you mutable signs, the nodes change. Okay, so they won't be in Gemini and Sagittarius anymore, mid-month in December. So, we've got that solar eclipse. On the outside of things, it's a pretty benign eclipse, kind of, on a personal level. These aren't going to be the big changes. The big energy is like the start of something. Okay, so you're starting new things. The big endings should already be happening. The beginnings of things are starting now. Now, on a global level, on a mundane level, like I said, this is weather. It's climate, it's currents, ocean currents, and it's pretty serious stuff. There's not a lot of aspects happening from that new moon on steroids, the solar eclipse, to anything else in that chart. What is happening is Venus is moving into a conjunction with Pluto, and they're in an applying conjunction. That's pretty significant stuff. Now, Venus is never, ever, ever malefic. It is never, ever, 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 ever a negative transit. And so this is big manifesting energy. And from now, like listening to this, from now until like December 10th, I want you to get really serious about what security looks like and feels like to you. Because the first of 3 Venus-Pluto conjunctions happens in early December, December 10th through the 13th. Okay, it'll be relatively exact. I want you to write down, what does it feel like? It's not about the money. Like, you'll be like, I wish I had $1 million. But do you? What would you do with the money? Well, I pay off all my debt. Okay. And then what? In today's world, with today's inflation, that's not very much money. I know it sounds really crass to say that. It feels kind of crass to say that. But what does it feel like to have all the debt paid off? What is it like to go to the grocery store and buy something and not worry about it not clearing on your debit card? What would it be like to just write a check and write away your debt? What would that feel like in the body? in the body. Not, oh, it'd feel really good. I'd feel really good. What does feeling really good feel like in your body? We're getting somatic here. Somatic, SOMATIC, somatic. Look it up. You want to know what that ease feels like, what it's like to have somebody need something. Somebody you love. Maybe it's your kid, maybe it's your mom, maybe it's your dad, maybe it's grandma, maybe it's a cousin, maybe it's a best friend, maybe it's somebody you love some other way. And they need something. They need a new fridge. They need the rent paid. They need a new pair of shoes, a class. What would it be like to just pay for that for them? What would it feel like without having to worry, check your bank balance, check your other bank balance, look at your credit cards? What if you just knew it was covered? Like, what would that feel like in your body? Go, oh, yeah, sure, I can help you with that. What would it be like to be able to eat whatever, whenever? What would it be like to go wherever, whenever? What would the lack of struggle feel like? What would a strong, solid foundation feel like? What would it be like not to have limitations on how you lived your life? Almost all of us are searching outside of ourselves for those feelings. We look for a job that pays a certain amount of money. And when we make that money, then we're like, but I'm not happy. I'm working all the time. So what is the feeling state you're trying to achieve with the external circumstances? Because when you get really clear about that, that's how the hell you manifest stuff. And it needs to be brass tacks and practical, okay? I'm not saying you want to manifest physical items or physical goods. You want to manifest the feelings having those things would get you. Because when you're clear in that feeling state, that's when you find the options to make things happen, okay? So I've been working on restructuring how the awake space shows up in the world. And I'm not going to lie, the Patreon took off before I was ready last year. It just took off. It just did. It was like, whoa, Nelly, here we go, here we go. And there were many other things I wanted to have in place, and I just didn't have time to make it. So we made it all year long. All the Coffee with Lori's, all the Cosmic Surfers, all the Living by Luna classes, those will all have a home soon. And right now I'm working with a graphic designer. She's really amazing. She's one of our patrons. Because remember, I take no outside referrals. And we're creating a space with libraries of information. And you guys have requested spiritual business classes. So, you wonder how I was able to monetize right out of the gate. Like, I didn't even have very many followers on TikTok. I had under 1,000 followers and I was monetized. Well, how was I able to do that? One, I was really clear. Two, doing stuff online is what I do. I've been teaching it for years. I've helped other people grow their businesses for years. So I was ready. I had everything in place. And so offering that information in classes, in groups, and workshops is part of 2022. And offering it in relation to your astrology. So getting ready for that is getting very, very clear about how you want to live your life. Like, what are you looking outside of yourself for that gives you what you think you need to have that deep security? And what do you need to release and let go of in order to achieve it? What stories need to go away? What beliefs, what dogma, what limiting beliefs are in your way? Now, you just need to identify those and go, is that working for me? And then if it isn't, go, okay, well, what would work for me? You don't have to dig in and figure out that Aunt Susie told you were stupid when you were 3. That's not going to help. What will help is go, oh, sometimes I think I'm dumb because people didn't always think I was smart. So that's kind of in my way. What would free me up a little bit? What would be a better foundation? How would it feel to know that I'm smart enough to do this? Oh, well, it would kind of feels a little bit scary because I haven't let myself. Oh, that's because I'm afraid of the responsibility success might bring. That's a really weird thing to be afraid of. What if success was easy? I wonder what easy success would look like. Wow, why does that make me feel guilty? That's the kind of conversation you kind of want to have with yourself. Go, wow, I feel a little guilty with that. What would it be like to feel that guilt-free? Whoa, that's really solid. I feel really centered. Wow, I feel really, now I know what they mean by feeling centered. So it's kind of walking you through those steps to yourself. And then look for Capricorn in your natal chart. Look for Capricorn in your natal chart and see what house it is in, okay? Especially where 25 degrees is, between 22 and 25 degrees. Now, if it's in the first house, that's yourself. That's how you put you out there. And this is about manifesting your confidence, your authority, how you put yourself out in the world. Not authority, like it's kind of like having your 10th house in your first house, okay, with this transit. So it's like, how do you show up as a boss babe or a boss man or whatever you want to call yourself? How do you show up in your full, authentic self? And so that you are just undeniable, okay? Second house is your security, and it's brass tacks security. It is having the tangibles, like you've got enough money in the bank, you got food in the pantry. You're able to kind of direct your own security the way you want to. You have that financial freedom. That's where you're going to manifest on this transit, the Venus-Pluto transit. Third house is communications. You're able to take really big concepts and boil them down into actionable, achievable steps. This is a great time to get that master plan written out, the monster to-do list figured out, chunk it up, give yourself some time blocking, look at your day-to-day busyness and say, what needs to be reworked? How do I give myself some ease? Fourth house is home and hearth. What do you need for your family to feel secure? What about your house needs to be fixed? You know, how do you want your domicile to be? Fifth house is if you've got kids, how do you set the kids up securely? Creative endeavors. How are you creating? How can you unblock your creativity and get your creative ventures going? Or whatever hobbies you have, right? Sixth house is work, health, and service. Are you wanting a promotion? Do you need a raise? Are you looking for a better working environment? What's going on with your health? What can you set up for yourself that way? What have you got going on for you in your daily routine? Maybe you need to work out more. Maybe you need to do other stuff. So that's stuff to figure out. The seventh house is how you commit your time and energy, especially with significant other people. This could be a platonic life partner. This could be a lover, not just somebody you're dating, but a serious relationship, a significant other, a business partner. This is a good time for that relationship. Maybe you're leveling up. Maybe you're looking at life a little differently together. Maybe you're renegotiating how things work out. Maybe you're looking at a joint venture. Okay. Eighth house. Okay, remember this is for the Venus-Pluto conjunction, the first of which happens December 10th through the 13th. Eighth house is how we transform. Okay, so this is like, what kind of metaphysics are you getting into? What kind of occult studies? Have you been grieving and dealing with grief? How can you feel the love that you feel you've lost? How can you tune into that and make it real? How can you look at the legacy and look at building forward with a legacy? What kind of legacy do you want to create in the world? Ninth house is expanding experiences. Like, so you might not be able to travel abroad. COVID's expanding. But what can you teach? What do you know? What can you learn? What do you want to learn? How do you want to expand? Okay. How can your beliefs morph and change and benefit you? How could maybe you earn income from the things you know. 10th house is our power in the world. It's about power. It's how we deal with authority. It's how we show up as an authority. Funny enough, people notice us in our authority, not when we're trying to be the boss. All right, Capricorn, Midhavens. But when we are just being ourselves straight up, authentically, they'll see the leadership in you. They will see the power in you. They will see the director in you, the person who can say, take this, put it there, move this over here, do this, put it here. And not in a bossy way, but just in a really confident, directive kind of way. What do you want out of your career? What are your next moves? How do you want to transform? How do you want to grow? That's up on deck. The 11th house, hopes, dreams, inspiration, aspiration, goals, networks, and community. What do you want in your local community? How do you want to transform it? What do you want to give to it? What are you doing when you bring that home? What are you looking at for your own goals and ambitions, hopes and desires? How can you be more inspired? What do you want to have happen with that inspiration? What are your tangible goals that are you working towards? Sit and plan them out. And then who can help you get there, right? And who can you help reach their goals? That's 11th house stuff. 12th house. 12th house is your hopes, it's your fears. It's your deep subconscious. It is your connection with the all that is, okay? And how do you want to transform that? It's also magical. It's ethereally magic. So what fears do you want to release? What internal knowledge do you want to really have and cultivate? What about your intuition do you want to trust more? What connection, what spiritual connection do you want to have more of? Okay. Aquarius rising. What are you tired of feeling? If you've been feeling fearful and angsted out, that 12th house, what do you want to bring in? What kind of spiritual experience do you want to have? So that's for the Venus-Pluto conjunction. The first of which happens on the 10th through the 13th. The next one starts on the 22nd through the 25th of December, and Venus will be retrograde at that point. And then we have a final one, March 1st through the 3rd, as Venus exits Capricorn in 2022. So the first one, you want to get super clear. Second one, you're going to do a little bit of revision. You may even see some of what you wanted manifest. And then you'll be like, maybe I need to tweak that a little bit. And that's fine. It's okay that you thought you wanted one thing and when you got it, you didn't want what that was. You wanted something else. It's okay to re-clarify. It's not about perfection. Give up on that stuff. Perfection is dumb. It doesn't help us. Stop it. Don't do that. It's not useful. Knock it off. Okay? Go easy on yourself. Stop being hard on yourself. Stop beating yourself up, because you're oppressing yourself when you do that. Knock it off. Just knock it off. Stop helping patriarchy do its job, okay? You want to smash patriarchy? Smash it on the inside. Be nice to you, okay? I said so. They call me Astro Mom, all right? So be nice to you. The universe loves you. That's enough reason to love yourself. So then we move to the nodal axis change. The nodal axis change. So the nodes, let me get the exact date. Before that, Mars in Sag. I should have this memorized. Mars in Sag happens December. Hang on a second. So my audio cut out, and so Mars moves into Sagittarius on December 13th. Then we have the solstice on the 21st, and then the nodes move into Taurus and Scorpio on the 23rd, which is my great aunt's birthday. And then the 24th, we have the Saturn-Uranus square. Get your seatbelt on, put your helmet on. This is going to be like the universe slamming the brakes on. This is big energy. There's a lot of momentum behind those brakes. This is power outages. This is weather. This is earth-shattering information, news. I think no one is going to forget December 24th of 2021. It's not going to just go away. And then Jupiter enters Pisces on December 30th. Now, if you've been with me for a while, then you know, what does Jupiter in Pisces do? It expands COVID. What have we heard about? A new variant. I've been worried about April 2022 for a long time. Not for the same reasons as everybody else. I'm worried about COVID. Okay? The 12th house is hidden enemies. The 12th house is ruled by either Jupiter or Neptune because it's ruled by Pisces, right? They meet up in April of 2022. Now, so does Venus. So I think there's solutions on the way, but I think we're going to see a massive explosion of this virus. I want you to act as if you are scared of catching this, okay? I want you to have all the boosters. I want you masked up. I do not want to see you going into crowds. If I see you going into crowds, do not make me come there. Okay? Just do not. Actually, I won't. I'm not going to come save your ass. I'm not going to come chastise you. You put yourself in a situation like that. You put yourself in a big crowd that you don't have to be in. Seriously, consequence city, okay? At this point. If you want to know what I think about the COVID situation, I will tell you right now what I am doing is I am acting like that nasty variant is here. Is it here? I don't know. I'm not a virologist and I don't work for the CDC and I don't have any of that information. But I tell you what, I'm going to sure as hell act like it's here because viruses are the enemy you cannot see. So all those people being like, I'd rather die free than live in fear. Really? Then why do those pussies almost all carry guns? Okay? I'd rather live free as well. I don't carry weapons with me. I know I am secure in myself. I can walk down a street just fine. I don't want to catch a motherfucking virus that's going to make me sick or someone I love sick, possibly for the entirety of my life. Okay? Death is not the worst thing that can happen to you. There are better ways to die than others as well. I've lived through a lot. I finally just started enjoying my life about 10 years ago. So let me explain. Okay? People will miss you if you get sick and you die. Now, if it happens, because we can get sick taking the biggest precautions, people will miss you. But if you get sick because you didn't take all the precautions you could, well, I'm going to guilt trip the fuck out of you. That's selfish. It's selfish to other people. This isn't a hoax. The vaccines aren't spreading it. In fact, the very fact that we have a very, very scary strain coming out of a region of the world that is coming out of is because they didn't have enough vaccines. It is a new virus that moves very quickly, transmits very quickly, and mutates very quickly. If you've been worried about a zombie apocalypse more than this, you have your priorities wrong. Act as if it's already here. Make sure you have your boosters and wear your masks, and understand that the shots can only do so much, and they're designed for very specific scenarios, but get them anyway, because there's still the other variants that they're made for running around. People are worried about a revolutionary war in 2020. We're not having a revolutionary war. We are fighting a fucking virus globally. That is our World War III. And then we have climate change and the changes to our economy. This is a serious thing. Okay? If I didn't care, I wouldn't be harping on it. So, I've given you the rest of the astrology for December moving into 2022. If you want the full rundown on the astrology of 2022, I am doing a seminar. You can find that by going to the link in the description for the podcast. Why don't we talk about cookies in the next segment? I'm amusing myself. I said I made it really heavy, and so let's lighten it up and talk about cookies. We're going to talk about cookies because cookies make everything better. I am having a cookie making party at my house on December 12th. Having a couple local peeps come over who are in the Patreon, which will be super fun. It wasn't a Patreon though, thing. It was just people that I've been working with on other stuff and having them show up. So it'll be super fun. And we're going to make all kinds of cookies because cookies are life. I am the great cookie monster. I love cookies. I made some gingerbread men tonight. That's kind of how I deal with stress. I'm a Cancer. I cook. I'm stressed out. I need people to come over to feed. It's not so much because otherwise I'll eat it and I'm already gaining weight and I sit down too much and oh my God, Venus and Capricorn give me a regime for exercise right now. That would probably be a good idea. So December is a rock and roll kind of month and the brakes just slam on the 24th. And then we have Jupiter enter Pisces at the end of the year. And people are going to have a rousing New Year's Eve. New Year's Eve is going to be really fun. It's also going to be shitty weather, probably some floods, things like that. But in general, the mood will be light because people are like, okay, 2021 has fucked off all the way. And now we can have fun in 2022. Look at that. It has a double number. And then they've got everybody freaked out about the Pluto return, which, by the way, I wrote a blog post about. February is not that big a deal. There's other stuff. There's bigger fish to fry. And we're not starting another fucking revolution. Our war is COVID. Our war is the economy. Our war is billionaires against the people. And it's not going to be done with guns. It's not. Just not. It's going to be done with technology, but it's not going to be done with guns. So, we'll talk about that during the Astrology of 2022 seminar, which you can check out on my website at wokeastrology.com. I think right now, it's a good time to remind you that for all of the big stuff I'm talking about, you always have a choice in how you deal with it in your consciousness. Okay? Even with COVID, right? We do our best. I mean, you can still get it, even trying your hardest. You can still get it. You can still get it sitting at home, fully vaccinated. And some of it's just the odds, right? But it's not worth being freaked out about. Just do your best. A friend of mine has it, fully vaccinated, very mild, just taking really strong precautions because there's a baby in the house where they live. So they're just doing everything they can not to pass it on. And remember, that's why everybody is eligible for boosters. That's why everybody is eligible for boosters. So keep that in mind. If you are worried about side effects from the shots, talk to your doctor. Don't talk to people on an internet forum. Don't talk to your friends. Talk to a medical professional. Okay? That's who you want to talk to. Don't talk to your astrologer or your tarot card reader either. Unless they're immunologists or virologists. We don't know. We can't tell you. Okay? You ask me, I'm going to refer you to a doctor. That's my job. It's called ethics. What am I munching on? Sesame sticks. That's right. Sesame crackers. Why? Because I'm stressed out. Not because of COVID, but because of people's reactions to it. I know you want to get back to your life, but I felt like I did in school when I was the only one in the group project doing anything, and then everybody else got the grade because of my hard work. I bet some of you can resonate with that. This is a species-wide group project, guys. It's serious. And we can't do anything about the people who don't pull their weight, but we sure as hell can take care of ourselves that do. Okay. "2022 is like a maze with booby traps in it. It's very different energy from 2021. It also has an element of a slip and slide, but not the fun kind. Again, there will be some magic. There'll definitely be more of an awakening. There will be. But some people will be getting lost in the fog, in the illusion and delusion. People who want more of the aesthetic instead of the practical realities. Magic is in the everyday living, my friends. Magic is in the everyday living. The most powerful rock is something you can find on a walk by a riverbank, and you don't even know what the hell it is. It just feels good. Your biggest message could be a little songbird sitting there tweeting at you, and it might be somebody you loved sending an "I love you" message through nature. You might be busy looking for your soulmate, only for it to be your dog cuddled up on the couch. Stop making it hard. Because if you make this hard, you're going to be caught up in illusions in 2022. It's simple. It's not easy, but it's simple. It's like the best food. I was talking to my daughter yesterday. We were making Thanksgiving dinner, and we had really good, fresh, simple ingredients. Nothing was complex. There was nothing fancy about the moves we were making in our culinary ways. And she said, "Gosh, but it all smells so good." And I said, because the best things are simple. They're not easy, but they're simple. And the same goes with life. Okay. The same goes with life. I want you to remember that. Well, my, our Patreon has grown yet again. Big shout out to everyone who is a supporter. Much love to all of you. You make this happen. You make this happen. So we've got big thanks go out to Nora, Francesca, Brandy, M, Veronica, Parker, Carrie, Amy, Liz, Nicole, Lindsay, Jeanette, Rebecca, April, Cheryl, Talia, Deborah, Isabella, Jimmy, Ryder, Cindy, Tyra, Anna, Saffron, and Devin. Big thank you to all of you. And special thanks to Sister Luck on Discord, otherwise known as Kathy. She is one of our mods. Thank you to Casey, another mod and a writing partner. And Chris. All right, Chris, who is in Della Rocco, who is also a mod and my right hand when it comes to getting all the admin-y things done. She is my, I told Chris the other day, she's my Gail if I was going to be Oprah. Because remember, I had that dream about Oprah. Oprah was driving me and Oprah had instructions for my business. I really wish I could remember all of those instructions. They were really good. I'm just operating on the fact that my subconscious has all of those really good pieces of advice from Oprah in my dream. Because Oprah was chastising me like I was a stubborn child. It was wonderful to be chastised by Oprah. I was like, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. It was fabulous. It was a great dream. And now anytime I'm worried, I'm like, don't worry, Oprah's got the wheel. Which amuses me to no end. But anyway, big thanks to my moderators and Yogi Hannah, Hannah is my Padawan from the other stuff I teach, which is online business and resiliency training for adults. She's an amazing being. So big thanks to you guys. Much love. And make sure you pipe up in the Discord, have fun with us, talk with us, share with us. I know you're shy, blah, blah, blah. Share. We want to know who you are. We want to support you. Maybe you had a shitty day. When I say there's no trauma dumping, there's a big difference between saying, okay, I woke up, I tripped over my shoe, I fell, I bumped my knee, I banged my head, I poured my coffee, and then I dumped it all over the floor. That's venting. Okay. Trauma dumping is using violent language or very graphic language, and instead of speaking with a therapist is using the group for that. It's okay to even have lost someone in your life and said, oh my gosh, I love this person. They've transitioned, they've passed away, they died, and I'm feeling lost. That's not a trauma dump. That's seeking support. Big difference. Okay, there's a big difference. All right. So, just wanted to make that clear. We want to hear from you. Thank you for your support. Without you, this podcast wouldn't be happening. All right. We've got some seasonal sales going on. You can save 50% on personal transit readings if you use the code SAVE50. I'll put that in the podcast description below, or not below, but in the podcast description. If you had trouble booking patrons, that's because there was a setting on the thing. It's fixed. Thank you to Becky for pointing that out to me so that you could book. I got it fixed. Let's see, what else? Oh, and again, sign up for the workshops in December. We've got love and sexuality in the birth chart or in astrology. And then we've got the 2022 overview, astrological overview seminar. Those are the two things I'm teaching in 2021. Those will be the last classes. We might have one get-together besides cookie making. We might have one get-together coming up. But yeah. So, thank you so much for your support. I'm going to keep this short and sweet because I need to make like a very tired astrologer and pass out. But anyway, thank you so much as always for your patronage.